Well, joining me now from Scottsdale, Arizona is immigration lawyer and social justice activist Deedra Abboud. And in Washington, D.C. is Kihien Palza. He's a legal advisor at a conservative advocacy organization called the Hispanic Leadership Council. I thank you both for joining us. Kihien Palza, let me begin with you. These facilities, they seem to be terrible, according to the report and the details that have come out from the congressman. Are U.S. border facility staff members preying on innocent migrant children?
Hi everyone. I saw the report, the documentation presented by the congressman last night, and some of the alleged accusations seems to be fake, but all of them has been investigated. Just to point out,
what
this
seems to be fake?
investigation started in 2000. I have one report, for instance, where after the investigation, it ended up to being a made-up allegation, and some others were made by anonymous letters. So those allegations ended up to be fake. But this report, this investigation started in 2014. So it's years ago. It's not
okay,
recent.
But we're going to get into that. Yeah, we're going to get into, to what extent it's connected to the current border policies. But I was just interested in your immediate reaction to it for the moment. Deedra Abboud, your immediate reaction when Congressman Ted Deutsch came out with those figures. By the way, we invited the Congressman Deutsch onto the program. He declined. He released those figures, 4,500 complaints, Deedra, spanning 2014 to 2018. When you immediately heard that, your immediate response was what?
Who are we holding accountable? Who are we hiring? Is the government having oversight of people, contractors under their control? And are we doing background checks to make sure that we don't have predators working for the government?
And your conclusion, based on what you've heard so far, is there a culture of sexually assaulting especially young kids at the border?
At the very least, there's a culture of not making sure that it doesn't happen under our watch.
Jeffrey?
How can you say that there is a No, I mean, you're saying that there is a culture in America to sexually assault minors.
Absolutely didn't say that.
Well, I've asked it as a question.
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. No.
But Jeffrey, I'm asking as a question,
no,
right?
you didn't say that. You didn't say that. The gentleman.
Okay, so Jeffrey, I don't understand why it's such
what culture are you talking about?
I don't understand why it's such a joke for me to ask the question. If it was any country where there's a credible report from a sitting congressman coming out that's saying 4,500 sexual assaults
in the United States of... Hey, no. You are misleading my word. You ask a question asking if there is a culture of child abuse in the United States. Come on.
No, I've asked you if there's a culture of abuse of migrant children.
Don't be offended. Don't be offended.
I'm asking you the question. I'm defending it. I defend it because I believe it's a fair question. And if you feel that this thing's not worth discussing, you shouldn't have taken the invitation to come on the program. So, 154 staff.
I did.
Okay, so let me pose this to you.
I didn't know you were gonna make those kind of questions.
I'm sorry, I'm asking you the question. 154 staff on unaccompanied minor allegations of sexual assault, right? Staff, right?
Well,
so let me finish. HHS and contractors.
You didn't read the report.
On unaccompanied minors.
I think you didn't read the report.
Sexual assault.
Some of the minors.
Sexual assault per week on average over 4 years. I'm asking if that's not enough to ask the question, is there a culture of sexual abuse? What numbers do you want? 50 a week. Then I can ask if there's a culture of sexual abuse.
I have the reports. Right here in front of me.
Hey, Jeffrey, I can put my piece of paper up in front of the camera for credibility as well. It doesn't mean anything. I'm quoting you, the congressman, directly. 154 staff on unaccompanied minor allegations of sexual assault, averaging 1 per week.
No.
Is there a culture?
You are wrong. You are wrong. You didn't
it's
read
in the report. It's in the report. The congressman has said it directly in Congress.
No,
these are his exact words.
No, he did say it in Congress.
No, you're wrong.
I watched it.
He said it directly
Here
in
is the
Congress.
document that the congressman presented with his report. This is the report. Some of the children or the facilities are migrant children. Some of them, or most of them, are foster children.
Okay, so if they were abused, does that make it okay?
Children that were abused.
But okay, Jeffrey, why are you putting bunny ears?
According to you, are migrant workers.
But Jeffrey, why are you putting bunny ears when you say abused? What does that mean? Are you hanging a question mark over abuse? Are you suggesting that, I don't know, people are just making this up? Nobody in Congress seemed to challenge the congressman when he quoted
because you are
the
making because you are making a serious accusation.
I've not made an accusation. I'm asking, is there a culture of abuse
without a proper
based? I'm asking if there's a culture of abuse based on big numbers of abuse.
Don't mention child abuse. Don't mention child abuse. What are you talking about?
This is what the congressman is saying.
People jobs there. People.
This is what the congressman is saying. This is why we're having this discussion, Jeffrey.
154 cases were referred to the Department of Justice. And even the HHS admitted that those charges were from contractors. Therefore, ICE was not responsible. Right. ICE has repeatedly said it's not responsible for anything that happens to people under their purview. They have also admitted that they're not doing background checks, just basic background checks to make sure that they don't have any child predators in their employ or as contractors. And there have been at least 3 employees, direct employees, who had charges against them, actual charges, and we don't know what happened with the charges, whether or not they were convicted or let off, but they had actual charges. So you cannot say they did an internal investigation and found themselves innocent. That is not how accountability works in the United States.
Jeffrey, don't you want those who have done terrible things to children?
There was an internal investigation. I have the report in front of me. According to the documents I have here, and I pull out from the congressman website, in all these cases, an investigation was performed. In all of them.
So why did the congressman have to go in front of the House Judiciary Committee? Was the congressman just bored? Was it a waste of everybody's time? If all of these are being investigated, why are we having this discussion? It's not a problem, right, Jeffrey? We can all just go home.
It's not the way you are phrasing this. It is a problem. It is a problem right now. But if you're asking for an investigation, a proper investigation was made. If the congressman and you want an more detailed investigation, yeah, we should do one. We should do one.
But when those numbers came out, Jeffrey, I'm going to ask you as directly as possible, because over the past 6 or 7 minutes, this has been nagging me. It seems as if you're not bothered by these figures. You're just shrugging your shoulders. Yeah, this is nothing. Are you not bothered by these figures?
Why are you saying that?
Because you feel like I can't even ask questions about this. So I'm asking you, are you bothered by this?
Of course I'm bothered. Are you?
Well, that's why we're covering the segment, right? Because this is alarming, and that's why we're asking the questions. What the hell is going on?
No, it is alarming, but not the way it is the way you are portraying it. And you didn't
What's your
read
problem
the
with how
facts.
I'm portraying
You didn't read the details.
You want me to make it sound nicer?
You didn't read the report. I have the report in front of me. You didn't read the database.
So you believe after reading the data that it's not a big deal?
So you're upset that you don't like that he's investigating this and asking questions instead of being outraged that 154 abuse cases were referred to the Department of Justice for investigation, and that ICE has said that they're not accountable, and that ICE has said that they're not doing background checks. So you need to decide, are we having fake outrage or real outrage? Because the only outrage is that no child should ever be abused by a person carrying a United States badge of authority or under the direction of a person with United States badge of authority.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Oh, good to see some agreement over that.
I agree with you.
Okay, so Deidre, let me ask you about
more investigation. More investigation should be done.
Okay.
Let's do the investigation.
Deidre, I want to ask you about something that was brought up very early on.
Detailed investigation.
Fair enough, Jeffrey. So I want to ask you, Deidre, about something that was brought up earlier on, where Jeffrey said, well, this is not something new. And we're going to get to to what extent the child separation policies of the Trump administration might be making this worse, or not, right? But Deedra, the fact that these figures come from October 2014, it shows you that it was happening from the time of the Obama administration. What does that mean, Deedra?
It means that we weren't having accountability in 2014. We weren't having accountability in 2015. We weren't having accountability in 2016. We weren't having accountability in 2017 or 2018. And now we're in 2019 saying that why are we responsible since we never had accountability before? It is time for the buck to stop here. It is time to say in 2019 we are going to get things done instead of saying, well, it happened before, so it's not my fault.
Jeffrey, you're right that these complaints, as they've been charted and as they've been documented, are from 2014, from the Obama administration into the Trump administration. But in 2018, there's an increase, right? There's been an increase, according to the report that you have in front of you. So with that in mind, are you a bit... hold on. With that in mind, are you a bit cautious that maybe there's a link between allegations of sexual abuse of children and the child separation policy, the zero tolerance, no tolerance child separation policy that's currently in play by the Trump administration?
My gosh. You haven't read about the child separation or the zero tolerance. The zero tolerance policy started in 2005 by during the government of George W. Bush. It continued with the President Obama.
You're telling me that, listen, we've done programs about this.
Just let me finish.
Under the Trump administration, this has been increased recently.
Let me finish.
Yes.
It was ended. It was ended by this current administration. It was ended. It was ended in June 2018 by the current administration. Child separation. The child separation, or for the family separation, or whatever you're going to call it.
You mean the pictures?
By the current administration.
You remember the pictures? The pictures in 2018 of children in literal kennel cages?
Are you serious? What pictures? The policy was ended by President Donald Trump in June 2018.
Their parents were not with them. And regardless, I don't care what you call it.
If you present a picture, it is fake
are
news.
Being molested by U.S. government officials or contractors, and all we want to do is talk whataboutism of what about the past administration. Fine, take the past administration to court. Hold them accountable. But in 2019, we should never say it's okay for children to be abused or to ignore investigations because it happened before.
You cannot take the past administration to court. You cannot take the past administration to court. If you wanted to take someone to court, you have to point out that child molester. Just give the name and take him to court or her to court.
You are more interested in saying what is not the problem than what is the problem. We either have children being molested, we either have predators not being investigated, we either have predators not having background checks, basic background checks that every school system in the United States has to have.
You're doing it is a political speech. You're not giving us facts. It is a political speech.
Abused by a government authority or anybody under their purview. Contractors or actual direct paid employees
I agree with you.
never have the ability or access to abused children. Should never be on a news program equipped about who's doing it and what's doing it, and it's not a problem because it was past administration. This is ridiculous. 2019, let's just hold people accountable today. We can talk about the past too, but we should never use the past as an excuse.
Jeffrey, final 20 seconds.
Well, if an investigation in detail or in-depth investigation have to be done, let's do it. Let's press the government to do that.
Okay.
It's as simple as
okay. Well, I'm glad you both agree on that you both want investigations into allegations of child sexual abuse.
I just, before going to an interview, you must read your facts.
I'm sorry, what facts did I miss? Excuse me. What? Okay, let's just, I'm going to ask for an extra minute here. So again, I'm going to go back to direct verbatim testimony from the Congressman, Ted Deutsch, who released the figures. So, 4,500 complaints of sexual abuse against detained migrant children from 2014 to 2018. Fact, said from the horse's mouth, from the congressman. You accept, right? From the congressman's mouth. 154 staff on unaccompanied minor allegations of sexual assault, which averages
I'm not talking,
one sexual assault of HHS staff per week, one per week. You questioned that earlier on. I don't know what your problem is with me, because you're saying get the facts. I'm quoting the facts and you don't believe them.
I don't have any
problems. So what's your
with
problem
you.
with me?
I don't have any problems with you. What
okay, so I'll end the segment. Thanks,
should I
Jeffrey.
have with you?
Thank you, Deidre and Jeffrey.